Hello, Internet, and welcome to Arena Time here on ShoutStone. So, it is Season 2, and I promised you would not have to deal with any more of my nonsense in the arena. So I'm giving you Arena Time with Trump, one of the best Hearthstone players in the world. So without further ado, let's get into the first game of the session. Now keep in mind, we are actually picking up on this series from the second game. He has played one game already that wasn't streamed. So he's up 1 win, 0 losses, and we're heading into action right now for Game 2, so let's jump into it. It is Uther versus Thrall. So this is a Paladin arena deck that Trump is going to go with. His opponent, Wonder, playing the part of Thrall the Shaman. So at this point, just making his early game decisions, clearing out a few cards. A little apprehensive about keeping that Blessing of Kings. He does decide to hold on to it, and well, he gets a second one. Alright, probably not exactly what he wanted. And the draw can certainly be something that turns the tide of the game. But we'll have to see what happens at this point. He does get second draw, so he gets that coin, which is always handy. And it looks like he is going to play the coin early and get that Sun Fury Protector out there. So it at least gets a minion on the field, and it's a fairly durable one, even if the battle cry isn't really able to be used, simply due to the fact that, you know, it's just it's the only minion out there. But it's okay, because it is a, like I said, sturdy 2-3 minion to start the game with, and that's going to force the Shaman player to start putting some options on there, and he's going to play Flame Tongue Totem. That's interesting that he would choose to play the Flame Tongue Totem now, when he has no other minions out there. Probably not the move he should have made or wanted to make. But he basically, Trump, yeah, he's just gonna get rid of that on the next turn unless something magical happens for the Shaman player here. But he does pop that get that Silverhand Guardian out there, or Silverhand Recruit. And he does acknowledge that that was a mistake. Yeah, generally don't want to play a buffing card, but at least he does take advantage of that Shattered Sun Cleric to take the 1/1 minion out, but it dies quickly with that Sun Fury Protector. So Razorfen Hunter being dropped on the field, that's going to spawn a 1/1 Boar, and the Boar is an effective little minion to at least take attention off at some point. Wonder will drop the Defender of Argus, which is going to give that Cleric +1/+1 and Taunt. Now it applies that to all adjacent minions, but since it's only the only minion out there, that's really all that can be done. So the Cleric can be taken out by that Sun Fury Protector in a minion trade. And as you can see, those little skulls pop up whenever you choose a minion to tell you what's going to die. So you're kind of aware. And it looks like Blessing of Kings being dropped on that Boar, 5/5, to take out the Defender of Argus and leave a very strong Boar on the field. Unfortunately, it's only got 2 HP, which can probably be effectively taken out by whatever the Shaman player may have next. It is still early, however, so we never really know. Gnomish Inventor comes out onto the field, 2/4, draws a card. The turn gets passed, so that's at least 5 damage that Trump can now deal to the opposing hero, or he can use it to take out that Inventor if he chooses to. It's some of those decisions you have to make. You know, you have to decide if you want to actually take out minions or start doing damage to the hero. Because ultimately, the goal is to get the hero down to 0 HP, but you've got to manage the minions on the field as well to make sure you're doing it right. So it can be kind of tricky, but another Silverhand Recruit is out there, and an Iron Fur Grizzly, 3/3 minion with Taunt. But it looks like it's going to be taken out by that Fire Elemental, and a minion trade there to get rid of that dangerous Boar. Alright, so it looks like Aldor Peacekeeper going to come out, and he will use his Battle Cry to reduce the attack of that Fire Elemental to 1, which renders it kind of useless. Now, if the Shaman player has some kind of minion that will give that Fire Elemental taunt, then it can be useful again. Or, of course, it can try buffing up its attack power once more, but it might be a waste of cards at this point. However, right now it is basically just a 1/5 distraction. Trump will probably just overlook it with his attacks at this point, because it's really not a significant threat when you've reached about the midway point where we're at now. Feral Spirit, excellent card. It's going to drop 2/2/3 minions with Taunt, and that is a really annoying card. Not quite as annoying as Mirror Image can be, because usually that can be dropped like first move of the game, and that's very annoying. But he does use that Fire Elemental to take out one of those recruits, and the turn is passed again. So, Trump's going to start working on taking out those taunt minions, and he's going to give Blessing of Kings. That Furious Null. And another strike to the hero. So, attack's starting to look pretty good. Namani Berserker being dropped on the field. And, yeah, so the advantage is slightly in Trump's favor right now. The card advantage definitely in the opposing hero's favor. But he does have the health advantage and the minion advantage on the field right now. Oh, but a key Hex right there to shut down that very dangerous 8 minion with, or 8 attack minion with taunt, excuse me. And Wonder doing a great job of keeping the field under control. And that's really what you have to do at this point. It's just keep everything removed. There's a good removal deck here. Or at least that's what it seems like thus far. But he does pop another totem. It's a Stoneclaw totem, which is very handy to keep at least one attack focused off of you and onto something else. So he's going to take that Berserker, and he's going to drop the Lord of the Arena, which is a 6/5 minion with Taunt. That's its most useful function, and pops another Silverhand recruit. So the advantage still slightly in the favor of Trump. Again, the health differential is not significant enough for me to think, oh, this game is over. The only time it is when the opposing hero's health is 0. Any other number of health can mean some kind of comeback. Alright, Cult Master comes into play, a 4/2 minion, and whenever a minion dies, any minion, you get to draw a card. So, Cult Master is very useful card battery, especially when there's cheap minions on the field. So they can be very handy to get extra cards out of your deck. Just make sure you don't play it too late and draw yourself into exhaustion or into fatigue, because then you're going to kind of start boning yourself unless you've got some really good plays in store. Alright, Earthshock on the Lord of the Arena, which is a silence play, so they'll get rid of that taunt, but it does still leave a 6/4 minion on the field, which can be very dangerous unless it's taken care of. Gonna pop another totem, and that is gonna be a Wrath of Air. Alright, so another quick trade, and that does get him one more card. So we only got a little bit of spell power out there now, no more Taunt Totem, and that one Searing Totem. Hammer of Wrath going to be played on the Cult Master. And it does kill it, and it draws a card for Trump, Bloodfen Raptor. And he plays that Dire Wolf Alpha to buff up the Berserker and to buff up the Lord of the Arena. Not looking good for Wonder at this point, but who knows what lies on those cards at his disposal. Could be anything. And decisions are hard at this point because, you know, he's at 6 HP. So any play he makes is basically, he has to shut down Trump right now. He has to remove those threatening cards from the field of play. And it looks like he's going to try to do that. He's going to pop Bloodlust, which he's only going to be able to attack with those totems, but it is going to be enough to take out the Lord of the Arena, which is one of the most dangerous cards out there. And he will take out another card there. So he's starting to shut down play at this point. And he is going to at least be alive for the next turn, because it doesn't look like Trump has anything that can effectively kill him on this turn. But he is going to drop him down to 2 HP. Still has a lot of minions that he could put into play. And the more minions he has on the field at once, the less options are going to be available to Wonder, because he's going to have to burn a lot to try to dispose of them, and he may not have a lot of cards to burn. But alright, so he's loaded up the field once again. He only has to do 2 damage to end this game. However, Wonder has to have enough to shut it down. And that's where things get really tricky. Another Fire Elemental that is going to take care of that cursed little minion with Wind Fury. Forked Lightning, let's see what it hits. If it gets lucky. Alright, not too bad. It didn't hit the Dire Wolf, which would have been a lot nicer. And interesting that he put the Wind Fury, or he put the Wind Fury on the 3/5 minion. I guess so he could do the double attack now and not have to risk waiting till next turn. Because Wind Fury on that 6/5 Fire Elemental would have been pretty nice. But he is able to use that attack to take out the Dire Wolf and to deal some damage to the hero. So he's keeping the field clear, and he's starting to get an advantage back. I mean, his health is still significantly low, but Trump doesn't have anything that can deal direct damage, so he has to rely on these minions. And again, he is going to drop a couple, pop a Silverhand Recruit, and wait to see just what Thrall can do. Only 2 damage needs to be dealt at this point, but 2 is a big number. When, I mean, he can effectively shut everything on the other side of the field down at this point. He will lose some minions in the process, but he can do it. Alright, he's going to drop that Mana Tide Totem. Let's see what else he has. He has Bloodlust. That will pop another 1/1 minion. And there goes the Bloodlust. So we can start to sacrifice some of those lesser minions, actually, to take out the bigger things. So now we can see some serious damage being dealt. Interesting that he would blow one of those attacks on the 1/1 minion, but he does have Trump in a corner now. And yeah, there is 12 damage on the other side of that field, so he just well played. He's going to concede, and it just didn't work out. And that's why you never rule out the game, even when your opponent's at 2 HP. If you just don't have enough, you might not be able to finish it up. But there you go, a perfect example of just what can happen. So unfortunately, Trump is going to go 1-1 at this point. 1 win, 1 loss. But it is just the beginning of this new season of Arena Time. We'll be back in just a couple days with the next round of Arena Time to do this again. So stay tuned for all of that. And tomorrow I'm actually going to start a special series of a best 2 out of 3 game that took place. And the first game will be tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And that's going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get daily updates and find us every single day, because I do release new videos every day with rare exception. You can also like this video, leave a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to see on the channel. Also, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description below. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.